Please welcome to the stage, Jon Stark. Thanks, Peter. You got okay. Yep.
Oh, I watched him already. Where are you going? Can't leave. You can leave. Christ. What? Oh, are you coming to hug me? Yeah. Who we got on sound and video over here? I can't see your name. Keith? Give it up for Keith and Lauren. Lauren, give it up for the staff of Fearless Comedy. Die laughing. Who we got in the back? Hey, man. I can't see very well because of the footlights. Charles. Hi, Charles. And I walked Duck. You'll be back. You'll be back. Boy, those Harry Potter kids grew up to be awfully good looking, didn't they? They took a risk putting those kids in a string of 8 movies, right? Anything, when puberty hit, just about anything could have happened, right? Rupert Grint's buck teeth could have gotten completely out of control. Daniel Radcliffe's agent must be thanking the devil every night. And then we got Neville Longbottom. That kid grew up to be awfully good looking. Neville Longbottom, I hope it is. And prize of them all, Emma Watson, man, finally, someone has come along to knock Melissa Joan Hart out of the list of magic-using teenage girls that occupy a special place in my imagination. Expelliarmus, Sabrina. That's what I say when I come to Climax now. Expelliarmus. Oh, man. My anaconda is not so judgy, Mr. Mix-a-Lot. You don't gotta have buns, hun. You could have slim boyish hips. Or be a boy. I'm flexible that way. Can we talk for a second about how Sir Mix-a-Lot dipped into the diner waitress lexicon for buns, hun? You don't gotta have buns, hun. What? I like butts, that's what I'm saying, and I understand how powerful it feels to say that. I like butts. I like to touch them. I could see how they made 2 hit songs in 30 years on just that phrase alone. I like butts. Speaking of butts, look at my face. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Can you see this on my face? I don't know, it may be hard to see. The lighting might be good enough. I have this kind of brown patchy area on my face. I went to the dermatologist recently. He asked, have you always had that cafe au lait spot? Have you always had that cafe au lait spot? It's kind of an evocative thing, right? It's sort of a beautiful turn of phrase for something I've been ashamed of my entire life. Cafe au lait spot. You guys want to see my arroz con pollo's shingles? Yeah. My ingrown haricot vert. Yeah, that stunned you into silence, I can tell. That's super gross. Super gross. This face. Guys, I'm aging pretty badly. This thing on my face notwithstanding, there's this. I've always had this body and I'm stuck with it and it's coming apart. at the seams. I've started to wear glasses now. I got prescribed glasses. Eric, how long have you worn glasses?
5th grade.
Since the 5th grade. How about you? What's your name, pal? Ted? How long have you had glasses?
5 years.
I got my glasses last year. No one prepared me like you people who've had them since you were kids or for half a decade or more. Like, no one prepared me for what would happen when I get glasses. I had no idea that I was going to go blind the first time I opened the oven. What? And then I got a scratch on them? They don't tell you about scratch practice for your glasses, right? Now I've got this thing in my peripheral vision. Do you guys see that? It's like there's a tiny ghost. I'm at the Vision Works. You gotta take these back, man. They're haunted. Sir, you don't have that kind of coverage. And now my eyes, I'm aging so ungracefully. My eyes have started to leak fluids at unexpected times, which is a way of saying I cry more than I did. Like maybe when I'm changing the brakes on my van in 10 below weather, and I didn't know how to do that growing up, so I'm crying about it, laying there on the ground, struggling with the brakes, and I'm having you know, if you saw this body just laying next to my van, right, you would just call 911 right away. Oh, that's definitely a stroke or a heart attack. We don't have to check that guy's pulse. The fat guy is definitely needing medical attention. Nope, just having a good cry while I struggle with the brakes on my minivan. Aging ungracefully. Man, I grew up in South Dakota. Anybody from South Dakota here? You ain't missed much. Boo. Imagine like the worst cities in Minnesota. Let's say like Coon Rapids and Blaine. And you take the populations of those and you make a whole state out of them. You can picture it. That's South Dakota. The Dakotas should not have been split north-south. They should have been split east-west at the river because there's two different cultures, east-west. And the most countrified, redneck, Blaine motherfuckers that you know, they all live in western South Dakota. That's where I grew up. Western South Dakota. It's cute. I watch these national politics. I watch the Republicans try to outdo each other with how conservative they are. And I just think about the politics that I grew up with. The Republican Party is so dominant in South Dakota that whoever wins the initial races, the community and the primary races, is going to be the national winner or the governor. They don't even hold a primary in South Dakota. They just have a shootout. And they have it at the Democratic Party, and whoever gets the most of the other side gets to be governor that year. The governor I had growing up was Wild Bill Janklow. Bill Janklow raped and killed people. He actually killed someone with his car when he was a congressman, and that was like the least worst thing he'd ever done. Scott Walker, Tim Pawlenty. You got to have a felony charge just to get on the ballot in my home state. Which means it's a weird place to grow up queer. Kind of seeking political asylum here in Minnesota. I've always identified as queer. I mean, technically bisexual, but I mean, look at this. Right? Thanks. Hey. We can talk after the show or during the show. What was that woo about now? Nice. That was nice of you. Thanks. What's your name? Because I got the others. But
Andrea.
Andrea. Do you like people who grew up queer in South Dakota? Andrea, is that what was appealing? That was what was appealing?
It really is.
Yeah. Because I pointed at my face and then you wooed. Western Dakota. That's the thing. I could be the smartest person who ever came out of Western South Dakota, right? I speak in complete sentences and think in paragraphs. That's like being the best diaper. Like, eventually they're going to figure out you're full of shit. Even if you're one of the fancy all-in-one piece, eco-conscious kind, you're still going to be full of shit. I identify that way as queer, not just because of my looks, but because of how confused I am. South Dakota's a terrible place to grow up queer, unless you're in the closet. Then it's fine. I'm coming to terms with that, and I'm more out of the closet now, and I'm old, so it's too late. Don't say aw, it's okay, it was a joke. You don't have to say aw. But it's really too late, seriously, guys. All the hard work has been done, all the marches have been marched, all the young people are way braver than I am. Queer, genderqueer, trans, all of those people are like leading lights. They're leading me toward a better future, and I gravitate toward that. And I just think it's too late to be, middle-aged, bisexual, married guy with 2 kids. There's no pathway to pave. Plus, I mean, really, it doesn't matter your gender identity expression, your love interest. You don't want to look at the person who's going down on you and see this. Patchy, stringy, bald spot. And if you think it's weird to look at it, imagine if you brushed your thumbs across it while I'm down there snorkeling away. You reach down to get a handful of hair and your thumb brushes that thing. Maybe it squeaks a little bit. That would kill the moment. I'm aging ungracefully. I'm going bald up here in the ugliest way. Like, I've come together here in the front, but it is a tragedy out there. And there's so many sexy bald people in the culture right now, right? Like Patrick Stewart and Samuel L. Jackson, and I'm not balding in that way. Man, I would have given just anything for Captain Picard to like issue an order, or Nick Fury to do something daring, and then just idly reach up and scratch a scab on his balding head. Maybe stick it in his mouth. Not thinking, I'm sorry, that's what happens when you're aging badly. Oh, man. I like that Tom Hardy, though. I love that Tom Hardy. He's not aging badly at all, right? That guy has the ability to hold my attention just by breathing. He's so beautiful, and I love that he's been in some of my favorite movie franchises. He's been in Batman, he's been in Fury Road. He's the guy, right? Oh, I love Tom Hardy. I love him in that Inception movie where he's like, there's somebody who's clearly queer and they're not really making it obvious unless you feel that way. I love his voice. Because I'm old and have all of this, though, I gotta wear a CPAP mask. Right? Anybody wear a CPAP mask here in the audience? Oh, yeah. They are pretty great. Saved my life, probably. Right? Put that CPAP mask on, and now I can sleep through the night. Now I got my dreams back. I get to be Tom Hardy with that thing on. Like in Inception, like it's Inception and Bane all rolled into one, and I'm laying there because I put that CPAP mask on, and now I sound like this. And now I'm picturing Bane in Inception. It makes me so turned on to go to sleep, I can't wait. So if my wife says no that night, I just put on my mask and think about Tom Hardy. Lie back and think of Tom Hardy. That's better than lie back and think of England. So I have OCD, in case that wasn't obvious among the other mental illnesses. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, right? And it's not the good kind where I'm clean. It's the bad kind where the thoughts come and they repeat and they circle and they circle and they circle. And yeah, I have a terrible inner monologue. Yeah, I mean, you've been listening to the outer monologue. Think about what it's like on the inside. So I'm big, right? But I used to be way bigger, like 100 pounds more than I am right now. And I'm already obese. So imagine 100 extra pounds. And I had a belt that I would wear. And as I was losing weight, I just added notches to it. And eventually this belt had like 8 or 9 extra inches. And it would hang out in the front because I would forget to put it through the loops, and I was too cheap to go buy myself a new belt. And so I had this belt hanging, and then the OCD would kick in. And I'd be sitting there going, does it look like I have a black dick hanging in front of myself? I think it looks like I have a black dick hanging in front of them. And not like a natural colored black dick, like a weird flat black leather dick hanging in the... And then the OCD ratchets up a little bit more, and it's like, you're disgusting. Why would you think that you have a black dick hanging in front of you? Nobody's looking at your dick. You're dirty. You're dirty. You think you have a dick hanging in front of you. And who would think it was that long? You're dirty. You're filthy dirty. You're stupid. So what I'm saying is that if you're ever on the bus and you see somebody in a struggle muttering about having a flat black dick, it's just somebody with OCD preparing for a half hour of comedy later that night. I mean, it might be. It might be a crazy person, but it's probably a guy with OCD. That man is suffering. Don't offer to touch that belt for him, though, and that would be uncomfortable. So in addition to being, here's the thing, in addition to being more comfortable with my sexuality, I gotta come out, right? I'm a creep. I don't mean to be, you know, like we talk about, we want to be supportive of people as they enter their midlife and their senior years. We want to support them, right? We want to show that we believe that you can be a whole sexual being through your entire life cycle, right, Charles? Well, I was going to recruit you as the other person who's probably older than some of these folks, and I didn't think it would be nice to recruit the women who just came in. But you want to be thought of as sexual beings your whole lives, right? Oh, she's shaking her head. Okay, so she doesn't, but that's fine. You want to have the right to be seen as a sexual person or a non-sexual person your whole life, right? And we celebrate that. We celebrate guys like me being free and being open with our emotions and all of that. And you're probably comfortable with that. But boy, if I start talking about fingering, right, then we're flipping over to me being a creep. And I'm older, so I'm really good at it. I've had way more practice. Queer and creepy. Man. I do want to clear one thing up, though, despite the mental illness. I'm not off my meds, okay? I know that we hear that saying about people, like it's a derogatory thing to say about people that they're off their meds. I'm not, quote unquote, off my meds. My meds have, quote unquote, run out. Or I have, quote unquote, misplaced the bottle. Or I have, quote unquote, counteracted them with substance abuse. But I am not off them. I did have my. Have you anybody on head medications of any kind? Oh, there's a hand in the back, and another hand up front. I heard a woo. The woo people, those are on the more active ones. Not a Klonopin or whatever is not going to make you woo. I had my head meds switched. You ever have your doctor adjust your medications, right? That's a weird experience. Your medication, they don't want to do it all at once. They don't want to have rebound effects or whatever. So they do this tapering one down and the other one ramps up. So you got this weird sort of algebra problem going on. If neurotransmitter A departs from neuron B at a decreasing dosage of 3 milligrams a day, while neurotransmitter C departs from neuron D at an increasing dosage of 5 milligrams a day, how many days before patient J just cracks the fuck up? Show your work. For a bonus, detail how many phone calls patient J will make to the pharmacy. You guys have to understand, you gotta fill this prescription today. I don't want to mention Susan Smith or anything, but my kids are in the car. You have to understand, these are for my head, right? You understand? It's 7 days. And 37 calls to the pharmacy. Be sure to show your work. Man, I got so many fears, you know? I got all these fears. I'm afraid of being found out. I'm afraid of not being discovered. I'm afraid of spiders, you guys. Anybody is scared of spiders? Scared by spiders? I see a nod. You scared by spiders, Andrea? Not really. You're not a rational person. Because spiders have 8 legs. Spiders have 8 legs and a number of eyes and weird hairs all over their bodies, and they kill their food by building a house to attract it, and then they inject it with poison and dissolve it from the inside out. Terrifying. Oh, man. When I was 6 years old and living in South Dakota, we went to visit a relative, and they live on a ranch, and they had an outhouse, and my dad took me to the outhouse, and I was 6, and I was going to pee, and a spider materialized up over the edge of the outhouse. Do you know, like, I think my fear of spiders creeps into all my other fears, right? Like, I remember that day so vividly. There was a storm brewing, so I was scared of storms for years after that. I'm definitely scared of the dark. It's dark in an outhouse. I'm scared of what goes on down there. And obviously, I started out scared of spiders. And this fucking thing jumps up over the edge of the toilet. And it was a wolf spider. You know, have you ever seen those? You familiar with the wolf spider? Right? It's like a tarantula of the north. And they move with this terrifying, like, native intelligence and speed. And it's like, I screamed. And my father, who I thought might have my back in a spider attack, goes, "God damn it, you're pissing all over the seat." You know, I think I'm scared of fathers, you guys. No, I think that's more like it. I think I'm scared of fathers. And really, that's as much of a rational fear as a fear of spiders, right? Fathers have what seems like too many limbs, and they got weird hairs in places and eyes in the back of their heads. And if you're really lucky, they'll inject you with poisons that take effect over years and years and years. Thank God they sell anti-venom in every bar in America. Fathers. Oh. Growing up in South Dakota, got exposed to a lot of guns. I know how to use a gun. I favor the use of a gun. You know the saying, guns don't kill people, people do, right? You know that saying. Well, if people kill people, then what am I going to do with all these guns I've been hoarding? You can stockpile as many guns as you want. So many that the only word for it is a stockpile. But you stick one person in a gun safe, and all of a sudden it's a federal offense. Guns don't kill people. People do. And you can have my gun. You can have my gun when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. That's a saying, right? You can have my gun when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. I feel like they've buried the lead. Because somebody needs to help me. I have cold, dead hands. I think that's a bigger issue, that my hands have gone cold and dead, and I'm still holding these guns in them. Please, somebody pry these guns from my cold, dead hands. The doctors won't treat me for my cold, dead hands while I'm holding these guns in them. Please pry these cold, dead these guns from my cold, dead hands. I'm finally coming to terms with my flexible sexuality, and nobody wants me to touch them because I've got these cold, dead hands. Oh my God, please. I don't want to be with the kind of person who wants a gun job. Please pry these guns from my cold, dead hands. Well, that is about my time. Thank you, Fearless. Thank you, audience, for staying. Blessings to all of you. You're wonderful. Donate money. My name is Jon Stark. Keep it Eau Claire in the streets, Linda Blair in the sheets. Have a great time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jon Stark.